Yes. Hi, John.
Hello there.
Could you tell us where you're from?
Yes, I live in Burlington, Vermont. My family is actually from the southern part of the United States. So most of my kinfolk grew up in Georgia, and they were rural people, and they were grocers, and we've got a lot of soldiers in my family. And, so I actually came to the Community Land Trust movement in a roundabout way. I was doing community organizing in the coal fields of Appalachia, which is our most impoverished area in the United States. And in Appalachia, all the land is owned by the timber companies and the coal companies and the oil companies, and people have no security whatsoever. Anytime they want to drill for oil, drill for coal, they can just push people right off the land. So I became interested in issues of land tenure and different ways that people who have very few resources can have more security of tenure, the right to stay put.
Great.
I went from there to graduate school at Cornell University in New York. As part of an internship, part of my schooling, I was assigned to work in an African American community in downtown Ithaca, New York. And I was working for a housing organization that had as its mission to rehabilitate all the housing, to redevelop the neighborhood, to take a low-income African American community and revitalize all the housing, the physical infrastructure. And we were terribly successful. I mean, we rehabilitated everything. Property values started going up. Shops opened. The problem was that all the low-income African American people who used to live in that neighborhood were pushed aside.
Right.
So I became interested in trying to find ways of doing community development, neighborhood revitalization that was development without displacement. And that's how I backed my way into the Community Land Trust.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been associated with the Community Land Trust movement in the United States since 1981.
Wow.
In 1981, there were probably about 5 community land trusts in the entire United States. Today, there are over 240. So I've been part of the movement where we've gone from maybe 5 CLTs up to 240. So I've been able to kind of watch the growth of the movement over that period of time.
And what's kept you there for all this time? What are the benefits that you've seen through the movement?
Well, I think this is a tool not only for the physical redevelopment of a neighborhood and to provide affordable housing, it's a tool for empowerment. What I like about this approach to community development is that the people who are the beneficiaries, the people who are the residents of the community that you're trying to serve, are the people who are members of the corporation. They're the directors of the board. They control the organization that is developing and redeveloping their neighborhood. So it's not just about the housing, it's not just about the land, it's about the people. And the people are great, and the people are wonderful, and it cuts across classes, it cuts across races, it cuts across religion, and we've created organizations where people learn how to make decisions together, how to fight fair on the board and work out their differences, and to govern these organizations that are developing affordable housing and keeping the housing affordable one generation after another. So it's a pretty exciting movement, and people are enormously generous. You know, there are no trade secrets in this movement. Everybody shares their successes, their mistakes, their documents. We learn from each other. So there are very few experts in this movement. We're all kind of learning from each other as we build the movement.
And it sounds like the movement involves a lot more than affordable housing.
It is. Community Land Trust are doing housing, they're doing parks, they're doing agricultural development, they're mixing community-supported agriculture and urban agriculture with housing. When we do housing, we're not just doing single-family houses, we're doing cooperative housing and condominiums and homeless shelters. So anything you can do on land, you can do through a community land trust, and some community land trust somewhere has done it.
Would you mind just telling me quickly what advice you'd give to a new group like us that are trying to set up?
Whoa. I think it starts with education. It starts with taking the time to explain, disclose, address people's fears and concerns, and building a base of support and knowledge for the model and a base of power for the organization. It starts with people and power. It doesn't start with land and money. I guess that's I mean, I could easily say, go get $1 million, buy a lot of land, and create a community land trust. But that's a top-down, resource-driven approach. I think it has to be a bottom-up, educate, empower, organize, mobilize. That's the way you build a strong organization. And then the resources come to you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Of course.